If I were the devil, if I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness.
So my entrance into public service at the city level was through my appointment to the Human Relations Task Force in 2017, now the Human Relations Committee, and later my regularly joining the meetings of the Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith Council, also in 2017.
The far left for decades have demonized, lied, and are actively trying to divide Huntington Beach and America. Far left government officials have been conspiring with the media and groups like the ACLU, ADL, Human Relations Task Force, the Interfaith Council to demonize Huntington Beach and America as systematically racist by using words like equality, diversity, unity, inclusion, welcoming, and love, hijacking and controlling language implying that Huntington Beach and America is systemically racist every time you use those words in that way. Labeling we the people of Huntington Beach as Nazis, racists, and domestic terrorists just because we are not aligned with your far-left destructive ideology. Huntington Beach and America isn't systematically racist as the far left implies. The truth is the left has a systematically race-baiting problem.
And at a time when our city was very divided, 2016-17,
Donald Trump wins the presidency.
and at a time when our city was very divided, 2016-17, and it was sometimes hard to feel pride in my city, which is why I wanted to get involved in the first place.
Here's a new one bound for the DSM, Trump derangement syndrome. It's a particularly insidious illness because it doesn't merely affect individuals, but entire political parties, rendering them unrecognizable.
The Greater Huntington Beach Interfaith Council was really the main place that made me very, very proud. Very proud. They are love, they are diversity.
Equality, diversity, unity, inclusion, welcoming, and love.
They are love, they are diversity, and they are a model for how people of different backgrounds, thoughts, and beliefs can come together.
Hijacking and controlling language implying that Huntington Beach and America is systemically racist every time you use those words in that way.
And build and celebrate community with curiosity, dignity, kindness, and service.
I would like to address the council on their personal ethics at council with decorum on dais and on social media. As a resident of Huntington Beach, no one should feel targeted or singled out. Natalie Moser has a definite race-baiting problem. She has demonized people by virtue of reverberating slanted articles from organizations that are libel and also not informed in truth and reality. What is your motivation? What is her purpose for this? To make a resident feel not accepted and excluded from Huntington Beach society? Why pinpoint out a man who you claim should look into the mirror because he is wearing a Make America Godly Again hat?
With the hat saying, "Make America Godly Again."
Trump derangement syndrome.
Said that the flying of the flag and our efforts to create a welcoming community were terrorizing the Huntington Beach community. Said person should look in the mirror.
The biggest threat and danger to our great city and our great country is from our local radical far left officials using weaponized identity politics to terrorize the Huntington Beach community. The far left are the domestic terrorists. And so let me dumb this down for the left and the children of the room. I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say about me bounces off me and sticks to you.
Is she against God in our country? On that note, Natalie Moser has also switched out an Invocation religious leader to one rabbi of racist ideology. That
we had a person set for invocation, and a council member called and switched the person giving the invocation. This came directly from the person at Interfaith who received the phone call from you asking her to switch the person giving the invocation.
I didn't ask anyone to switch
one rabbi of racist ideology that includes hate.
Hatred has become normalized.
Stereotyping, and also points to slanted websites that have been hijacked by the left. She has boldly lied on dais about it, which I think is offensive to every resident in the room and watching online. I think she should be investigated for her behavior and loose, irresponsible rhetoric of hate towards any and all residents and co-council members. We are watching, Natalie. Your behavior reeks of hypocrisy, outright disrespect, and ignorance to the people you call your constituents. You talk about love and equity and inclusiveness, yet you speak of discrimination towards them. shame on you. Stop baiting with your time on hate and please work diligently on the true issues in our community as the other council members that were just elected.
10 seconds.
Thank you.
If council members or the mayor or whomever had a concern about political speech, number one, no example has been given of that.
Some 25 years ago, Huntington Beach was the scene of some awful hate crimes. Hatred has become normalized between individuals of differing political viewpoints and even expressed in acts of violence.
And I know multiple members of the Interfaith Council went back through their various invocations over the last many months, and I don't think that they necessarily thought something was political. Something can be uncomfortable for us. That doesn't make it a political statement necessarily.
Hatred has become normalized.
But if that was the case, I think that the opportunity is not to just throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? But it's to actually go, okay, I have a concern. This is a tradition. I want to see what's going on here and speak to the Interfaith Council, the people who have been doing this for all of these years. And to, I know that the president of the Interfaith Council personally asked the mayor at the coffee on Saturday for the item to be pulled for a one-on-one conversation, and he mentioned that here tonight.
He did not.
Okay.
By the way, he did not.
Okay.
He asked if I would sit down and talk to him, and I said I would.
Don't you think it would be appropriate to have that conversation before bringing an item forward?
I also told him that the prayers have been very political.
Unfortunately, in the past few years, we have witnessed a deterioration of kindness and decency, both locally and nationally. Hatred has become normalized between individuals of differing political viewpoints and even expressed in acts of violence against Jews, Muslims, Asians, blacks, Latinx, the LGBTQ plus community, and the list goes on. And even expressed in acts of violence, against
Yo, that was incredible! Get the hell away!
and even expressed in acts of violence against hatred has become normalized between individuals of differing political viewpoints and even expressed in acts of violence against even expressed in acts of violence against and even expressed in acts of violence against
Save the horse! Kill him!
also told him that the prayers have been very political. And I've had a lot of opposition from the community in terms of talking to me, and I told him where I was coming from. But I said I was happy to sit down and talk with him, which I'm willing to do and which I'm going to do.
Right, but you should have, in my opinion, should have spoken to.
You can't tell me what I need to do.
I
and what
can
you need
say
to,
my opinion about what you're doing,
Yeah,
and
but
I'm
you
doing
can't tell
that
me
right
what I
now.
need to do as a. I was out there in the community doing the community coffee. It's like you. Okay, let me.
You're interrupting.
Oh
my
no, hold on.
comments, though, sir.
But you're telling me how I need to do my job, and I don't appreciate that.
Okay. Well, I don't appreciate this item. Okay. And
then we
again,
can vote on it.
there's an opportunity to be curious and have a dialogue with people, and not jump the gun and jump into situations that are possibly unconstitutional. Prior to directing the city attorney to look at what's possible here and to have the city take this over, why not have a conversation with the people who have been working on this and doing a great job? If you have a concern about it, if you think something's been political, you should have gone to the person that said it, gone to the Interfaith Council. Mayor Strickland, have you given an invocation at a public meeting in the past?
I have.
Okay, so then you also see the possibility or the potential value of individual citizens providing an invocation.
Yeah.
Okay, so as far as a list that we're putting together that we're going to evaluate from a city perspective, that just seems that will somehow someone certified seems so inappropriate for us to be doing. This one blew me away.
You cursed brat! Look what you've done! I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world! Who would have thought a good little girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness?
I couldn't believe, without a conversation with the people who are already doing this.
Oh, I'm going!
And I know that we'll bring it to the city attorney and he'll figure all of that out, but the reality is it shouldn't be going to the city attorney. It should be going first as a conversation with the Interfaith Council, because that's the respectful and appropriate thing to do, in my opinion. And we should not be doing it in this way, and I will absolutely not be supporting it.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Benamart.
So I understand you're uncomfortable with this and you think it's inappropriate, but another thing that is inappropriate is to have rules and have council members meddle in the invocations and pick and choose who they're going to have come in and give the invocation. We need to establish safeguards so that this is a truly neutral process, and that is what we're trying to do right now.
How are you saying council members are determining that?
They did. We had a person set for our invocation, and a council member called and switched the person giving the invocation. This came directly from the person at Interfaith who received a phone call from you asking her to switch the person giving the invocation.
I didn't ask anyone to switch what?
And just so everybody's aware, you said to go to staff. I did go to the city manager, ask suggestions. And again, I'm not claiming that I have all the answers. I am going to sit down with the Interfaith Council, but I know it has been a problem, and it's a problem that we need to fix.
Hatred has become normalized between individuals of differing political viewpoints, and even expressed in acts of violence against Jews, Muslims, Asians, blacks, Latinx, the LGBTQ plus community, and the list goes on.
This doesn't preclude working or talking with the Interfaith Council. It's an H item, it's an idea. It gets the process started. It's obviously broken, needs to be fixed. So this is the first step to fixing the process. It's an H item, it's an idea. So we keep getting wrapped around the axle on the fine details. I understand the concerns, but we're directing the city manager to work with the attorney, and we can all have conversations and come back and finalize those details. And then, like I said, it doesn't preclude us from talking with Interfaith Council. It's just an idea. We're moving the ball forward. Simple as that.
Go ahead.
We beat this pretty good. Can we have a vote?
Yes. It's been moved. It's been seconded. Clerk, call the roll.
As is Councilmember Kalmick.
No.
Moser.
No.
Vandermark.
Yes.
Strickland.
Aye.
McKeon.
Aye.
Bolton.
No.
Burns.
Aye.
Measure passes 4-3.
The adults are in charge. 4-3, the new normal. And with 2024 right around the corner, the left will never be elected in Huntington Beach ever again. Skywalker out.